right, we are back again after a little bit of a holiday stint. But today, first of all, I just want to mention to the current listeners that the podcast is available on both YouTube and on all major listening platforms. So I recommend the YouTube channel. We'll definitely get a lot more views on listens on the apps, but with YouTube, you get to see our faces.
And you get to see me doing silly stuff in the background.
That's right. So today we have a professional photographer and content creator. He has worked for brands like GoPro, Samsung, and he's got an exciting upcoming gig with Adobe.
Yeah.
His name is Kurt Tilse.
You did well.
I finally pronounced the name properly. I've been struggling with that sometimes. You can find him on Instagram under @KJ_Tilse.
Well done. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got about 215,000 followers, and he's also big on YouTube. That's actually the very first time I saw Kurt was on YouTube, where he did an Aquatech review.
Oh, really?
Pretty old video.
So is that how you saw me?
That's the first time I saw you.
God,
yeah.
that video is like what, maybe like 2 or 3 years old now?
You looked very different.
Yeah. What are you saying? I'm aged?
I barely recognized you the first time we did a shoot with you. I was like,
oh really?
Yeah, I've seen you before.
Oh, yeah. That's so cool.
So funny.
The small world of social media.
That's it. And I think on YouTube right now, you're at around 70,000 followers.
Yeah, something like
subs.
that. Yeah.
And you're doing this Cool Dad project.
Cool Dad project. Yes.
That's right.
Do you want me to elaborate on it?
Well, my first question I think will be, because now everyone understands that you're a new dad.
Yeah.
What's some of the lessons that you've learned now that you have a newborn?
Oh, man. There are so many. I think both myself, Sarah's my partner, Sarah's Day. She's massive on social media as well. Anyway, both myself and Sarah went into, I guess, the process of parenthood very naively, to say the least. You get lots of I guess you get lots of advice when you tell everyone that, oh yeah, we're pregnant and we're about to have a baby soon. Everyone's like, just be prepared. Your whole life is about to change. And both me and Sarah looked at each other and we're like, we'll be all right. Like, we both work from home. Like, we're an awesome team. And I tell you now, I am so sleep deprived. I'm surprised that I'm here at it's quite early right now. Like, what's the time?
8:30?
8:30, okay.
Yeah. So
I got up at 6 this morning off about 4 hours of sleep. I don't know how I have energy right now.
Oh, wow.
But it's
so the lesson is lack of sleep, but you're still functioning.
Yeah, I don't, and it's funny, the human body, what it can do, a fight or flight mode, I guess. I'm just going to go back to the pregnancy journey. Sarah, when she was giving birth, she was in, there's 2 different sections of labor, which I didn't know this at the time, but there's a pre-labor and then there's you're in actual labor. So pre-labor can go for 2 or 3 days of just this, it's painful. But she just doesn't get to sleep. The pain comes along every about 5 to 10 minutes. So you get nice rest in between, but you're just constantly going and I guess not actually getting sleep. And then you get to hospital and it's time for labor. And then that goes for 10 hours or whatever it is. And that is the most intense thing. I've competed at the World Championships for Australia in sports jiu-jitsu, and nothing compares to the birth of my own child. It was so intense.
And can I say, you're kind of just there, you're not just there watching it, but it's not you going through the physical pain per se, is it?
No. I have a newfound respect for Sarah, because what she went through and what her body went through is just unhuman. It's just crazy what the body can do in this situation. But my role was just to constantly massage and give positive affirmations, and it was exhausting on my behalf, but I'm not going to take it away from Sarah because she did all the hard pushing. So
that's incredible. I mean, I guess the second lesson there is a newfound respect for mothers, eh?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Us as males, we have it so easy. We have
lucky.
The whole process so easy. It's still hard, but we have it so much easier.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And we don't even know what we're talking about, really.
No,
and we're just we're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's jump back a little bit to kind of your your beginnings with fitness and sport? Because you're heavily involved with it now. Where would you say that your passion for living a healthy and fit life, where did that come from?
My parents. My dad played NRL for Canberra, second grade. I think he may have played like a few first grade games here and there, but he was more so second grade. And my mum was just like an absolute gym junkie. So growing up with that, it was pretty easy to fall into a lot of sports as a kid. Both my brother and my sister were all competitive swimmers, little athletics, rugby union, rugby league, soccer, like the list just goes on and on. We just had lots of sports just thrown at us as kids. I think that's where it all came from in the early stages. And then growing up, I played rugby quite competitively for the school, made the first grade team. We got scouted when we left school to go and play for North Sydney Colts. And I sort of lost the love for it there. The whole way through this process, I've been training in the gym and loving my gym training, which is primarily like a bodybuilder style, aimed towards, I guess, being like a better athlete at that stage. And yeah, when I lost the interest for my rugby, I ended up looking at different avenues. I went down Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and then I eventually found Japanese Jiu Jitsu, which I have been doing for about 10 years. I've quit in the last 2 and taken a step back just because it's like I just needed a rest from it. But did about 10 years of training in that. And when I started that, I found this new love for fitness, and it was just highly motivating. Training twice a week as in Japanese Jiu Jitsu, and then doing the 5 days a week in the gym as well.
Yeah. What's the difference between Japanese and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu? So
Japanese Jiu Jitsu sort of encompasses all forms of martial arts. So you know,
stand up as well.
Stand up. So you'll have your striking. It comes down from the ancient samurai, like Japanese fighting combat. But then it was brought to Australia by a sensei called Andy Dickinson, and he trained over in Japan for about maybe it was about, I think he did stints here and back and forth. So, but I think in total he's had about 10 years experience over in Japan.
Wow.
Prior to bringing it to Australia, he had to have X amount of experience, have a belt positioning, and he had to actually pitch the idea to the Japanese martial art form, which is called Daidaru or something like that. So when he brought it here to Australia, he modernized it and turned it into more mixed martial arts, basically. So you have elements of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, elements of Judo, Muay Thai, Taekwondo.
Wow.
It just sort of encompasses all these different forms of martial art. And the idea behind it is that you could go into any studio and be able to hold your own. So any form of martial art, you could turn up and I know bits and pieces of it. Not turn up and be like, oh yeah, I could smash you guys. It's not about that. It's about just being able to hold your own,
And no martial arts really is about that if you really, get into it properly, you're never, It's one of the best lessons that I've taken away from doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is that you get humbled very quickly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, imagine like being a black belt in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and going across to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's another humbling experience again on itself. Like you have, blue belt to just absolutely annihilate you. So you understand how the process of each individual martial art form. But you're not specific to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
What's one of your favorite takeaways from doing Japanese Jiu-Jitsu? Like, did you learn from it?
Yeah,
10 years is a long time.
Self-discipline. I learned a lot about myself actually. So I was a little bit naughty, not like too bad, but you walk into a dojo where this guy stands up the front and he's just such this power authority. And I came in as like a bit of a footy head, like thinking, whatever, I'm an athlete, like I can do this. And then sparring against him for the first time, I got literally kicked off my feet. Like he kicked me so hard, I couldn't walk for 2 weeks. It was horrible. It was so horrible. But you know, he did it to me because he sort of understood that like I would come back and I would thrive off that. But at the same time, he needed to teach me a lesson, just put in my place, you know? And I think that once that happened to me, it just opened my eyes up to like the potential of this sport. Like here's this guy who's, you know, 20 years older than me, and I'm, you know, I think I was about 18 when I started, 19 when I started. So like pretty prime. And yeah, he just absolutely smashed me. Like
it's such a funny sport, martial arts, hey, because the whole belt system actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Being a bit rebellious is, I think, a good thing. But when you come into that system in the beginning, you're like, well, this is kind of dumb. They're better than me because they're a blue belt, or they're better than me because they're purple belt, like almost like a better person. But then after a while, you understand why the system is there and actually teaches you the steps to go through to get to those stages. And then you want to get there yourself. I think that's a great way to do it, actually.
Yeah, 100%. That whole process of going through the belt ranks, first of all, it's a great business structure because we all love hierarchy and we just love like, you know, moving up the levels. Like if only gyms could implement that system,
I couldn't agree more.
Absolutely crushing it as a gym. Hey, like,
Imagine going into a normal gym and you had like a sweatband or something. Yeah. There was a certain color and you're trying to
we should keep this a secret. Someone's gonna poach this from us. Yeah. But besides being a good business structure, it is just each time you go up a belt rank, you get to learn new skills and you learn that little bit more about yourself. I'm just gonna like fast forward it now all the way to the end to black belt, right? Yeah. Black belt, getting your black belt for the first time, for my personal experience of it, we had a 3-day event. So on the first day you start at 2:00 in the afternoon, and it's Friday, and I was a carpenter at the time, and I remember finishing like halfway through the day, just all day being so nervous because I knew what I was in for. Like this is a big thing. Anyway, so the first, that 2 p.m. you get into the classroom, you got the sensei standing in front of you, you have to go through your syllabus, which is just basically like the combination of moves. There's self-defense moves like from different attacks and things. Is that
more like taekwondo grading where you go through or karate grading?
Yeah, kind of like a karate grading. So so throughout the whole process of Japanese Jiu Jitsu, we had all these different like systems in place for different moves and how you would combat that, and you know, take somebody down or throws, and just all the learnings. Yeah. And it's not a hardcore fitness session. That's just more of a mental session. And then he stands up there and he just, can we swear on the channel? Yeah. Okay. All right. He just mind fucks you. So he stands there and he like, why did you do it like that? And why did you do this? And he just like, it's so intimidating. He stands over the top of you and just like questions you on every single aspect of what you're doing. And you just like crumble and just like, oh my gosh, like I don't know.
So is it more about how you react to the questions?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Because prior to the black belt, you have to know that stuff. Yeah. Like you've done it the whole way through. You know that stuff. It's more about seeing how you crack under the pressure. Yeah. So then straight after that, you go into this intense 2-hour fitness session, and I'm talking there's like hundreds of burpees, like jumping squats, push-ups. I think you do like 100 push-ups, sit-ups, and then you do like combinations on the pads, and you have like other black belts standing in front of you just yelling at you the whole time, making sure you don't quit, and like making you go harder and harder and harder, and like
sounds like a Navy SEALs session.
Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is. Like it was so much fun. So the first day's fun. The next day, then it's a Saturday. You wake up, you're sore already. Then you have to do 22-minute rounds of sparring against fresh opponents. And because I was training with like kind of the elite team who was training for the world championships at the time, I just like got thrown all the best like kickboxing guys who just absolutely smashed me. It was good. Yeah, I hated it at the time, and I wanted to quit halfway through. And I think this whole process, like during this, like there is a day 3 to this as well, but during this, your mind just wants to quit. You're just constantly going, I want to quit, I want to quit, I want to quit.
Because you're losing again and again, right? In those sparring sessions. Yeah, I've seen that. That's so rough.
Yeah, and you're just constantly getting back up, and they come in hard at you. Like they're trying to rip your head off, and you're
Yeah.
trying to defend yourself and just survive those 20 rounds. Because you think about it, 22-minute rounds, it's 40 minutes. That's a big session of just getting belted, right?
That sounds horrific. That
So
sounds crazy.
Then the Sunday, the third day, you do a fitness session. You're sore as anything during this fitness session, and then you get thrown 100 times. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's once again, it's one of those mental things. It's like this punishing throw. It's quite a simple one. I can't really it'd be hard to describe on.
Is it like a judo throw?
Yeah, kind of like a judo throw. One of the simple
hip
ones.
throw?
Not a hip throw. It's like you throw a punch, they block it with their two hands, and then they reef your leg out from underneath you and just slam you onto the top part of your back sort of thing. And then you sort of roll out, and you just got to keep getting back up. You do that 100 times, and it's just... But at the end of it...
frustrating.
Yeah. And then you do you do kicking through the boards and things like that as well. And then at the end of it, you've got it.
Yeah.
But that 3 day... just those 3 days alone, I feel like I personally gained so much wealth about like my own body and what I'm capable of doing, which was so nice to be able to push myself to another level in the gym. It was really a good experience for me spiritually, I guess. Yeah.
It's kind of that David Goggins style thing.
Yeah.
Did you do it were you the only one grading to black belt, or were there other people there as well?
No, there's
group?
a few other people, and like I had a friend that I started with, and we went through the system all together. And I think towards the end, he ended up getting his black belt before me because I got injured prior to the last one. But there's 3 other guys that was doing it with me this time. So
sounds like a bit of a bonding experience for the 3 of you.
yeah, it definitely was. I'll tell you what.
That physical torture together is it can create a strong bond.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And you said you competed as well in Japanese Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah, so
how does that work?
So you go to the trials, and you have to do like the tournaments through the trials to get into the Australia team, and then when you qualify for the Australia team, then you go across to the World Championships, and we had the World Championships here in Australia in Brisbane 2 years ago now. So we're about to go again to the States this year. So it was 2 years ago. So I was fortunate enough to be a part of the Australia team. Got to wear the emblem on my chest, and it was quite surreal. It was really it was like kind of, I guess, the pinnacle of those 10 years of training. Like black belt, that was amazing. But then after black belt, that next step for me was, I need to compete. I've been competing the whole way through, but I needed to step it up and make that team and go there. So,
and how many fights did you have there?
So it's tournament based. So you can have about 5 to 10 fights
in a day.
Across maybe 2 days or so.
Yeah.
I got injured, so I ended up coming fourth in the missed out on a placing, which is okay. But I guess going into that being my first ever world championships, I just wanted to leave a mark. Like I wasn't expecting the place. I wasn't expecting my skill set to be, I guess as good as it ended up being. Because I was up against some really top martial artists and top athletes even. So.
Where are they from, like the top guys in that?
Most of them are from the States. A lot of the best guys that I versed were from the States.
And do you start standing up and you're allowed to strike?
Yeah. So I'll explain that. Yeah. So you're in a gi. You have every strike is point based. So a head punch would be 1 point, but a head kick would be 3 points.
Okay.
Leg kicks don't count as a point.
But people do it to get it. Yep.
Yeah, because it's distracting and it hurts.
It's annoying.
Yeah. Throws, you'll get a 3-pointer for a throw.
Yeah.
You can get a 5-pointer for like an overhead where the body comes up to a 90-degree angle or parallel to the floor and thrown on the ground. That's a 5-pointer.
Yeah.
As soon as they hit the ground, you can kneel on them and do 3 strikes to get 3 points.
Wow.
And then hold a position. You get, I think, 2 points to hold a ground position.
Yeah.
And then you can only be on the ground for about 30 seconds. So you can win the round by a submission.
Yeah. But in 30 seconds?
In 30 seconds on the ground before they stand it back up again. So they've made it in a way so that like BJJ guys don't come in and just like annihilate, because, you know, we all saw like the first UFC and, you know, the Gracie brothers came in and just...
As soon as they hit the mat.
Yeah, that's it. It was game over. Like, you just cop a few punches, grab them, pull them to the ground, armbar, done. Yeah, so they've made it... It's like a nice system for like that all-round martial artist.
Do you have headgear and gloves?
You have gloves? No headgear. No.
Oh, so you're punching on someone without any headgear?
Yeah, but you're at distance, because a lot of the guys that you're versing, they have very good technical kicks, because it's not about absolutely destroying your opponent, like, because you can get disqualified.
Points.
It's points, yeah. So you can get disqualified for a potential, what do they call it? They call it a, I forgot what it's called. But you can get like disqualified for like knocking out your opponent.
Okay, shit.
Yeah. If like, let's say an overhand right punch, like it's quite a wild punch, and usually you see this in the UFC. They like put their whole body into it. The head goes down. Oh, sorry, move away from the head goes down, and they do this big overhand right punch, and there's a lot of power in behind that. That's an illegal punch in sports jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
So it's more about straight on, or you can do hooks in that, but they've just got to be nice, clean, controlled looking
like
shots.
Good technique type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
So it's
but
kind
you can still strike the grounded opponent though 3 times.
Yeah, but it's like a strike to the body. It's not directly to the head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get punched hard in the head?
Oh yeah.
Because you're saying like, oh yeah, you can't strike that hard, blah blah blah. And then you like get one, and you're like,
yeah. So it's like it's up to the discretion of the judge that you have on the day. So there's a little bit of like, you could get unlucky. I got disqualified. This guy kept coming in on me. He actually ended up winning it. And I just had so much reach on him. Every time he would come in to attack me, I would just do like a big jab or a right hand cross. And it would be a nice clean strike with distance and control and power. But because he'd be coming in on me, that impact, when I hit his face, his head would just jerk backwards every time. So I got like warned twice, and I ended up getting disqualified because I just kept doing it. I couldn't do anything about it. So
that's shit.
It's just part of the game. Yeah, that's it. So and like,
sounds like you won this whole tournament, in my opinion.
I like to think so. No, I definitely didn't. But it was just part of the game. So it was good fun, and it was It's one of those things that you go along. You knock heads with everyone, you know, you try and rip each other's head off, and then at the end of it, everyone gets together and it's a big piss up and you're all best mates. It's like, mad. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So it was a good experience, that one.
How nervous are you before a fight like that though? I mean, because you can still get strikes to the head. I
was nervous. I was more nervous about winning and losing rather than being struck, because like 10 years of experience, you kind of find a love for getting hit.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, like give or take. Like, I don't know. You sort of, I don't know. You find your groove. You find how to move around punches. Like, I wouldn't put myself up against a professional UFC fighter, because they're on just like this whole other spectrum of fighting. Like they are just the most elite of the elite. They're so fast. They're so conditioned. Everything about them is just pure fight. You know, like
they're so aggressive.
I watched this documentary with George St. Pierre, and I think he lost his title belt, and he did his knee. I can't remember what injury he got, but he was going to be out for like about 7 months or something like that. And in his bed the next day after the fight, after he lost, rather than thinking about, all right, I'm going to recover and I'm going to train back up, he's like, get me back in that ring. I want it back.
That's crazy.
Isn't that just like that's such a different mentality?
It's a winner's mentality.
Exactly. That's it.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean? So, and you got to be that type of that person to, I guess, fight at that level, which is you know, insane. Yeah. But going back to what you're saying, it just you do gain a little joy for being hit and you know, sparring.
You probably need that a little bit to excel in that sport. Hey?
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of the same as BJJ as well. Like, I guess when you get put into that uncomfortable position that, you know, you haven't been able to escape before, and you finally escape it, you know, you gain this like little bit of joy and self-confidence. Self-confidence.
Got out.
Yeah, exactly.
And then 2 seconds later.
They're in your triangle choke.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
So where are you at now with your health and fitness? Because it seems, I mean, you have an extensive background with Japanese Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah.
For, you know, more than 10 years, but now you're more of a, and I might be wrong here, you're more of a gym person, or like you're looking for longevity, or?
Yeah. Yeah, more of a gym person. Probably, it's more about lifestyle now. We have our own podcast called The Health Code, so if you want to go check that out,
Definitely go listen to that.
And I always say on there that health and fitness, it's been taken out of context a bit, that you have to go to a gym to look a certain way. And I pick up mountain biking, I pick up paddle boarding, surfing, like yourself. Do different. We're currently gym hopping around just to try out different workouts and things like that. So I'm kind of taking this different approach to it, where it's more about just finding things that I find joy from. And martial arts, that was one of those things that gave me so much joy at the time, and now I want to try and find that next thing. I still do a little bit of BJJ here and there, but yeah, primarily I'm in the gym, but I give myself 2 days a week where I'm either out doing mountain biking, surfing, whatever. Yeah. Something that's a bit more lifestyle based.
Yeah, I think what you're saying as well is, being outdoors is so good.
Isn't it? Because it's the best.
It's something there that you can't get in the gym, right?
Yeah.
Like even if you do jiu-jitsu, or if you go to the gym, that's awesome and you get into this whole groove, but there's nothing that gives you those endorphins that you get outside.
No, especially in the ocean.
Yeah.
There's something about the ocean, you just come back so buzzed every time. Like
don't get me started. I love the
ocean. it could be like 1 foot waves out there, and you're still having the time of your life. You can't okay, maybe not for everyone, but for me, definitely. I love it. Every time I'm in there, I always come back so refreshed. And Sarah even says to me, my partner, she even says to me, "Oh, you're like a better person when you surf."
It's so true though. Hey, it's right now, sadly, I'm in a bit of a depression because we spent a week in the Maldives and coming back was rough. but it's so nice out here. I went right back into the Sydney waters. Yeah. Because it's cold and you got to go back in your wetsuit. Yeah. You got to get it done straight away, because if not, it'll take me months. Yeah. Yeah. And it's beautiful here. Yeah. It's so nice at this time of year.
Yeah. We're very lucky. Yeah. We're very lucky, especially with down where I live as well in Cronulla. They put so much time and effort, the local council there, into cleaning up the shoreline and making sure everything's nice and pristine. And the beach down there is so beautiful, and the northern beaches as well. It's beautiful as well. But I live down there, so I just take appreciation for it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's got a different feel to it, but I think they're both amazing places. Yeah, incredible places. Yeah, definitely. And have you been shooting a little bit in the water lately, or? Oh yeah, I try to get in as much as I can with a newborn baby. So I'll put the camera in the housing and jump out there, and that's not actually part of my job. I don't have to do that. I just find joy in doing it. I don't know, it's something that's the same thing. Being in the ocean, take a few shots of the waves. I feel like I've accomplished something in my career, which I haven't. It's just procrastinating off the work that I should be doing. And then at the same time, I still get that buzz of the ocean as well. So yeah. It's different shooting in the water, right? Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Explain some of the challenges that are there that's not on when you're on shore. Okay, it depends on where you shoot. I like shooting out at Shark Island. And the issue there is just making sure you're in the right spot in the channel. Is there a strong current there usually? No, it's not. It's not too bad. You can stick in there, but I have a tendency to keep moving in tighter. And when it's shallow, let's say about ankle deep shallow on reef, and you've got maybe a $10,000 camera in your housing, it's probably not the best idea to be moving in tighter to the big bomb sets that come in. So I just find joy in it. Yeah. All in all, and seeing the results and results. Yeah. There's nothing better if you've gotten up early in the morning for sunrise and you're out in the water. It's quite daunting. Swimming through the channel. You're always thinking the Jaws music. Dun 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 dun. You swim out before the sun comes up. Yeah, so it'll be rising, or it'll be pretty low on the horizon. You know how you get that that orange ring that just pokes up and it slowly comes up. It actually comes up pretty quickly, actually. But I'll get up just as that's poking, because that's the prime time. By the time I get out there, I've got enough sunlight, and it's beautiful sunrise. Yeah. Is it better, do you reckon, in winter than in summer? I love it more in winter, of course. We have all the swell comes through in winter here in Sydney and on the East Coast. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like the winds are better as well.
They are. Westerlies.
I swear we get better winds as well.
More glassy conditions.
Yeah, definitely. It's cold, but it's rewarding at the end of it.
Do you have something in particular you'd like to shoot in the water that you haven't done yet?
Oh yeah. I want to go to like Tahiti and shoot like the sharks, and like I want to get that iconic like Instagram shot of like the someone laying in the ocean there, and they're like surrounded by the sharks and the stingrays and that. Like I think that'd be sick. Or go swimming with whale sharks.
Yes,
you can do that over in Western Australia. That's like on my bucket list to do as well. So
that'd be incredible.
Yeah, that'd be just amazing to do that.
I mean, I'm so happy when I see like a fish that's more than half a meter. Imagine what it's like if it's a huge whale shark.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. So we kind of skipped theme a little bit there to your photography. So let's maybe jump back a bit again and do a similar question about that topic.
Yep.
How did you find your passion for photography?
By getting a camera and going on holidays and being that guy who was taking the photos on that trip. We went on like this boys trip to Bali. When I left school, I was a carpenter and just fell into it. But yeah, we went on this boys trip to Bali, and I just bought a point and shoot camera to take along to the trip.
What camera?
Even
just what brand? Do you remember?
I think it was a Canon actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a Canon, just like a little point and shoot one. It has like 8 or 12 megapixels at the time. So like, it was pretty poor, but it got the job done, and it got flooded. Being on the back of a scooter and like, getting cruised around it was in the pouring rain, and I got flooded. So I kept half of the trip of footage. The rest of it got
so it didn't even last that whole trip.
No.
Wow.
So it was new camera. It didn't even last. But as soon as I got back from that trip, I was looking into DSLRs then, because it was like,
was it because of the shots that you did there that you looked back on and you're like, these are
yeah. And I just enjoyed being that guy with the camera at the time. I've always been like a creative. I picked up music through school, did that, and then I was pretty into my drawing through school as well. But I just fell into carpentry as a career, and then I just thought that photography was a good creative outlet for me, and didn't even think of it as a job. And then I just started doing it, and I went to Vivid. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Vivid.
Yeah.
So I went to Vivid, and I finally got my first DSLR, which was a Canon 60D.
Oh, yeah.
So like the 80D.
Yeah. That's a decent camera.
Yeah, it was good. So I went like the intermediate level at that stage. I was like, I'm going to spend a little bit of money here.
Did you have to save money or?
Yeah. Yeah, that was like, you get paid $300 a week as a first year apprentice. So it was a lot of weeks of saving.
Yeah, that's an expensive camera.
Yeah. I think it was about like $1,200.
Yeah.
With a kit lens. Yeah, with a kit lens. So yeah, at the time to me, that was just like the most epic thing I've ever bought. So I was super passionate to like just go out and shoot everything. So I went to Vivid and I took some shots and, uploaded them up to social media. And I got this one shot that a lot of people, I guess, sort of overlooked, and it was sort of more the cityscape, but on the city, they just had all these amazing colors. And then the reflection of those colors came through into the water. I just captured, I just thought, oh, that's cool. I took a photo of that and then uploaded it. And this interior designer at the time, she like commented on that photo being like, oh, I love this photo. This is like one of my favorite interior photographers, very similar to his style. I was like, oh, cool, yeah. And she just ended up DMing me and saying, oh, would you be interested in shooting some portfolio stuff for us?
Oh, wow.
I'd never shot interiors, so I just went online onto, good old YouTube and typed it in. I was like, all right, how to shoot epic interior photography, just fake it so you make it, right? Yeah, I can do that for you. How much to charge? I'm trying to work it all out. I charged like absolute peanuts because I didn't know what it was worth. And then I got these images back to her and she was stoked, and I ended up picking her up as a retainer, and,
wow.
And it was at that moment that I was like, oh, okay, I could make this like a side hustle. It could actually be a bit of a job. So then my brain started like thinking, okay, how can I get away from carpentry and, become a photographer? And I don't know, about 5 or 6 years later.
It doesn't happen overnight.
No.
That's an incredible story though. I love that. Yeah. It's one of those things that always reminds me about how lucky we are living in this time, because you can literally pick up a skill over time with YouTube. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you kind of said it as if you just took a photo at Vivid, but I'm sure you put thought into it. You knew what settings to put on.
I'd already like, done my research behind the camera and understood it. And like there was, a lot of test shots that I'd done prior to that vivid scene. But all of that was learned on YouTube. And I did end up going to like photography college, and I dropped out halfway through. Yeah. So I was just like, this is a waste of my money. Like, why am I focusing my energy on capturing images that these people want me to capture when I could just be going out shooting stuff that I enjoy shooting and doing that really well? So I quit halfway through, and I just kept learning it as I go. And
how much time have you spent on YouTube that you reckon learning photography skills?
You know what else is really good? I think there's another program. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's not Libsyn. I can't remember now.
Like a skill sharing program?
Yeah, kind of like Skillshare.
I've heard of a couple, but sorry.
There was one of those programs that I got a free account through the photography college, and I managed to keep that. So between that,
so you got one good thing out of it.
Yeah. So between that program and then YouTube as well, I encompassed it all into the one.
Is there someone on YouTube that you reckon you've learned more from than others? Because there's some accounts there that are so good. You just can pick up incredible lessons.
Yeah. No, it's more like the F-stopper guys.
F-stoppers, yeah. They're good. They're still running.
Yeah. They're like more of a professional, polished piece of content. Like everyone follows like Pete McKinnon.
But, but this was you were probably before Peter McKinnon.
Yeah, I was learning prior to him. Yeah. And like even so, like Pete does a lot of stuff that's like lower level to where I sit in photography now. If that makes sense. Yeah.
But he's such a good introduction to it. I think it's a great shout out on this podcast, because if you're wanting to up your photography skill, he's a great channel.
He's perfect. Yeah. He's perfect. The way he talks, he's engaging, and not to mention his content is just like on point. So yeah, you can learn a lot through him.
For sure.
But most of the stuff was gaining inspiration through magazines and other people's work on Instagram. I don't know. I like to look at images at a deeper level, and I guess maybe I learned this through the course as well. Like, you study images and you look at it and you go, why is that a good image? Where's the lighting sitting? What's it doing? And I felt like I learned photography sort of in that process. I guess it was more of an estimation of what the photographer's doing in an image. Chase Jarvis was another good one.
Yeah. He's amazing.
So I'll look at an image and I'll be like, what is it in this image that stands out to me? Is it the colors? Is it the lighting? Is it the composition? And I'll study images like that on a deeper level. Like I'm sure, if you're in the photography or video space, like yourself, like when you look at a video now, do you like watch the camera techniques that they're using?
Where's the videographer?
Yeah, exactly. I can't help that now. When I watch a movie, I'm like, fire out the storytelling, and that was amazing. That director did such an awesome job. Or those camera shots just like told that scene really well. Or So
I love doing that with music videos. That's kind of how I got hooked on it. Because you'll watch a music video and then I'm like, how did they get that shot? And I'll skip back 30 seconds and watch it again and again. Yeah. I'm like, I can't wrap my head around how that happened.
Yeah.
Such a nerdy thing.
Well. Yeah. But you got to be a nerd to I guess work it all out.
And I like appreciating it, because now like you said, with Instagram, people scroll through that feed, and if you follow a lot of good photographers, there's been so much work put into those photos that goes unappreciated. But people just think, oh yeah, I like that photo, scroll to the next one. But like what you're doing, you're going like, that's an awesome photo. Why do I like it? Is it the textures, the lighting, the angle?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's a nice way to appreciate it more.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you have a story from when, because you got more and more paid work as you progressed through it.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories? And I think some of my listeners are kind of in that starting phase of doing photography or video for content production.
Yeah.
And number one thing everyone's nervous about, how to price it, how do I get clients? And like they start negotiating with someone who wants to hire them, and they're like kind of freeze up and be like, oh, I'll just do it for $50 or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you have any of those stories that you've learned a lesson from?
Stories or advice or?
Both, maybe.
Both? Okay, right. Okay. Stories. Wow. I've been there. I've been through that whole process, and I think what I learnt the most from, I ended up picking up a full-time job with an agency called Magnum & Co. And in their commercial PR agency, because I wanted to pursue commercial photography, and I wanted to understand it a little bit more. So I went to those guys and worked with them and helped them build up their content offering. At the same time, I learned so much about the back end and about marketing and how much, photographers are charging to the bigger brands, if that makes sense. But prior to that, it was just trial and error to be honest. If I had the wealth and knowledge that I had now, I would go back and I would be like, I know exactly what to charge you at, and I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm not going to, do it for $50 because it's not worth my time. But it's like anything, your product needs to be good. It needs to be desirable to be able to charge it out at the rate that, the top end photographers are charging it out. So let's just talk wedding photography, for example.
Yeah.
You get quotes that range from $500 all the way up to, $3,000. I've even heard of photographers who are charging $10,000, which is just unheard of. And I think you're getting ripped off if you're getting charged $10,000 for a wedding.
Yeah, but that's for people that have a lot of money, right?
Yeah. So, it comes down to what you have to offer. Like most of those clients you're going to talk to, if you're only starting up, they're kind of going to be expecting a startup fee. That's the reality of it. You're not going to be able to make that $2,000 to $3,000 to $5,000 range until you got clients coming in the door every single week saying, "Oh, we love your work, and you've built something for yourself, and you've found that style, in the photography space." So, it's still a tricky one to.
Yeah, it's tough for a lot of people. Hey,
yeah.
One discussion is, do you charge per hour or do you charge for the work?
I never charge per hour. I feel like there's something.
That's where people start out, I think, a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I think don't do it like that, because instantly you're put into this like little pocket of 4 hours. We only need you for 4 hours. When let's say you're starting up and you're only charging $25 an hour.
Yeah,
4 hours of work's only $200, and then you've got to go home and edit all that content and sift through it all, and then polish it up and make sure it's the best work possible to send to the client.
Yeah,
you need to. I think you have it as a package, whether that be like I said, at $500 or whatever it is, whatever you feel is worth your time on it.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of ways to look at it, but one thing I always try and come back to is like, if I'm seriously interested in getting this job, I'm interested in getting a good end result. That's my number one.
Yeah.
If I'm charging per hour, the clients they're going to want to keep cutting the hours back to make it cheaper for them.
Yeah.
But the less hours I'm working, probably the worse the end work is going to be.
Yeah.
So I rather just charge a little bit less per hour per se, but make sure it's good work.
Yeah.
And then when you end up with good work, then for the next client again, you can charge more.
Yeah.
And then more and more. I think that's, if you charge per hour, you're kind of fighting against your client the whole time. It's,
I agree with that. It just gets messy in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think another good thing that I encompassed in the early stages was just doing stuff for free as well. Like your time, it is free. As much as we all want to put a price on it, we have a huge amount of time at our disposal that doesn't cost us anything.
We all have the same amount of time at our disposal.
Yeah, we do. Use it wisely. And I think you need to look at it at the point of like, don't just go do a wedding photo shoot for free just because like, I want to be a photographer, I want to charge like $5,000. Do it because you want to build your portfolio and you want to make your work amazing. Like I did a lot of stuff with really good high up end brands for free because I wanted to get into that commercial space and I wanted to work with these top players and I wanted to have their brand to my name so that when I go to other clients, I go, look what I've done with all these other brands, all this amazing work that I've created.
It allows you to charge more.
It does. In the long run. And I even do stuff for free now, limited, because my time is like
Even more precious than before.
Yeah, especially having a child.
Fox.
Yeah, that's it. So there's still, I find still value in doing stuff for free, even to now where I'm at that professional level of my career. And
I'm the same, but I think I'm going to guess that you're similar in the sense that if I'm doing something for free, I really want that product to be awesome.
Yeah.
Like I want it to be, I want it to be something you're passionate about.
You got to benefit in some way, shape or form. Like you can't just do it for free and not be benefiting at all from it, you know? Yeah. And like you said, it comes from putting all your work into it and putting your time and effort into making that epic. Yeah.
What do you love most about shooting right now? Like what makes you excited?
Oh wow, that's a hard question. What do I get excited most about? I get excited in the early stages of organizing the shoot. I like to jump in the early stages of creative direction towards the shoot. And
planning
we're coming up with the concept and the idea and then the way that that's going to work for a brand. That to me is like the most important part, especially
and you mean explaining that to the brand as well? Like hard, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'll usually create a deck and I'll pitch it all out. I have like a story. So, you know, I do video work as well. That's sort of where my business has moved to now. It's primarily video really. So I'll have a concept for that shoot. I'll have a storyboard. You know, it's got the quote within it. It's got, you know, everything that the client needs from me to know exactly what it's going to look like. This document has it within. So then, you know, on shoot day, I have the models there. I have the location set up. We've got the permits. We've got, you know, everything sorted so that it just runs smoothly. And the shoot day is just the fun day. That's you know what I mean? Like just have a good time, be a good vibe because all the hard work's been done prior to it.
Yeah.
And the creative and the storytelling element is the most important part in all of this. Like in photography, in video, if you don't have a story to tell that goes along with that piece of content or that is told within that piece of content, that content is no one's going to watch it. No one's going to be able to engage with it.
They get over it quickly.
They get over it. Yeah. So it's all about the story. It is all about the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I find that sometimes a hard thing to explain because people just want something that looks good.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, what's happening?
Yeah. For me, I get that as well. Like, oh, we love the way that this person edits. Can you edit like that? Yeah, I can do an edit like that. Like, don't worry.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I heard that one.
I can do an edit and I can put a crazy, awesome track in there and it'll be a banger. Yeah, don't worry. We'll do that anyway. But you need to have like a point of direction that audience is going to move to as a next step because otherwise that piece of content, you're paying me a huge amount of money for an awesome edit that you could have got like little Jimmy down the road who's just picked up a first DSLR with a gimbal to do for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be automated more stuff with AI, like video editing? And
oh my gosh. I went to this Adobe event in the city like not long ago.
Oh, you're gonna scare me now.
Oh man, I am so worried for my career. So the technology that they've got at the moment, I've got to be careful. I don't know if I can disclose what particular items they have. But basically like CGI is going to be huge in the next couple of years. Like it is going to be astronomically easy to do.
It's much cheaper now, yeah?
Yeah. They have this program that's literally a material database and it just has, oh man, he put this photo up on the screen of like a soldier and it looked like it was taken from a medium format camera, which is like 50 megapixels, the most beautiful quality image you could like possibly think of. And he's like, this is made from this program.
And it looked real, like
it looked
like
real,
the real thing.
Real to the point where his like glasses that he had on his eyes have like fingerprint smudges on the glass to make it look real. Like this is going into high detail of this program. And I'm sure that would have taken that person to develop that face a long period of time. But as this technology develops, it's becoming easier and easier and more automated. Like let's just talk about Photoshop, for example. Like, sorry guys, if I'm going to be a bit nerdy right now, but you can in Photoshop you can sort of like use this. It's called a magic select tool, and you can just like let's say you've taken a photo of a person, you want to change the background. So you can literally cut this person out by using the magic select tool. And you go around and you draw it around them, and it selects the person or what it thinks the person is. But you can go one level quicker, and you can literally go up to the top panel at the top and just click select subject. And it will find the subject and it would just do it perfectly to a T, almost. Sometimes like it doesn't work every time, but if you've got a clean backdrop, like I say, the blue sky or a white wall or something that's just clean, that's not too messy in the background, it will spot it and it'll select it perfectly down to the fine hair details.
And it's one click.
One click.
It used to be, I mean, when I studied, that could have taken hours.
Yeah, potentially. Depending on the hair.
Yeah.
Like, I know we used to use the pen tool, which you go around, all the way around, like, and you like click, you basically draw around this subject and you click
with
all
mouse
around.
clicks.
Yes, and bending it and stuff. Yeah. And like the people who do that for a living, they could do it in 10 minutes. But for someone who like me, who's not necessarily needing it that much, it would take like you said, an hour, maybe 2 hours to do it.
And then you click something wrong or it crashes.
Yeah. So
man.
like I think the future is really exciting to see what, as a creator, what we'll be able like have access to, especially the YouTube game. Like you look at YouTube right now and the edits that are going up there and the storytelling process is enhanced by these edits and the things that people are putting into their YouTube videos. I don't know if anyone saw it recently, but it's like, it was called 50 Minutes to Save the World. Did you watch that video on YouTube? It was trending like
was that the one with the story of not the story of the universe? No, this was something else, wasn't it? Or?
Yeah, he like woke up in Hawaii. He put on his glasses and like this like AI thing came up. It's like, oh, the reefs are in danger.
I didn't see that one. Okay, I'll have to look at it.
Go have a look at it. And like, if you posted that video, if you'd done that in the YouTube space, like just even like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, everyone would have just like, everyone went ballistic still, but everyone would have went absolutely bonkers over it because of like the amount of effort and energy that went into that. Whereas now it's kind of like, oh yeah, like I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, I could do that. I know how to do that and this and this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, it was still a beautiful piece of content. But yeah.
But I think what it comes back to though, which is something you already talked about, is that these things are getting more and more automated. Yeah. But the storytelling part is still going to be unique. Yeah. I don't think the AI can create the story, right? Or even anything close to that. So although some of the stuff we're doing is probably going to be obsolete for humans to do in a while, someone still has to create the story, the idea, what it's going to look like.
Exactly.
Yeah. That won't go away for a long time, I think.
No. And there's like, I doubt it ever will. Like, will we ever be able to create a robot brain that thinks like us and creates emotion like us? I hope not, because that's really scary.
Did you watch the Elon Musk presentation yesterday or the day before? It's so scary. They basically have now put it's like a thin little sheet. Actually, I think they put 4 in behind the ear. It's in the brain. And I'm going to butcher this explanation, but they're looking at the synaptic connections between the neurons. That's how you learn new stuff. Yeah. And they're putting these tiny little electrodes inside your brain. They're 1 millionth the thickness of your hair. Yeah. And they go in and they can affect those connections. Wow. So I think, so the way they're starting with this is that for disabled people to be able to control their wheelchair, a lot of good stuff. Yeah. But it's also going to go into the direction where you can, what they also want to do is control your phone with it.
Nah, I don't want that.
You can put shit inside your brain to control your phone. How crazy is that? It's just, you watch it and you're like, what is going on?
That's like the stuff that you see in the movies like 10 years ago. Isn't that like insane that like that technology that's like in the movies just as an idea and a concept, like starting to come to life now? Like what's that movie? It's like iRobot or something. Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of them. Blade Runner, Ghost in a Shell. They're all like,
that's some freaky shit. I don't want part of that.
But I think it's inevitable in our lifetime. We're probably going to be part of something really freaky.
Yeah, definitely.
Even the weather app. Have you seen, like, that's super popular now? Everyone's making their old face.
Oh, yeah.
Like that stuff is how I saw one really good one by Nathan Florence, and he's in the barrel
Yeah.
And there's water around and everything. And the photo is perfect. He looks like he's 90 years old.
Yeah.
Like, how does this app do it?
I know, it's crazy.
So freaky.
That's it. Good old technology.
Yeah. Hey, I'm talking about something that's kind of in the news now. What do you think? And you being very active on social media, what do you think about this new change for Instagram to take away the likes, or you can't see how many likes you're getting anymore, or other people are getting, I should say?
Yeah. Yeah, I find it very interesting. I can totally understand why Instagram have done it. I think it may hinder Instagram app a little bit, but at the same time, I think it's a positive change because, you know, all that press came out not long ago about Instagram, you know, being manipulative and you know, only showing you likes here and there. Like, who knows? It could be all rubbish. It could be real. Who knows? But I have spoken to people who are very obsessed with the number of likes that they're getting on their images. Like myself and Sarah, we're like the polar opposite. I feel like I don't know. I'll post a photo up there and I'll be like, I know that's not going to get likes, but I don't care because I like the image. You know, I sort of post for a different reason, or it's either an educational reason to say something that's happened in my life, some thought process that I had, or something about photography, or even in the gym. You know,
something that genuinely interests you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like a learning, like because for me, Instagram, it's a life journey, and we're all in it together, and we're all just trying to work out this, you know, this huge game of life.
Yeah.
And and off the back of like what Sarah's done on her YouTube channel, like she's completely health and fitness and has an amazing community surrounding her that are really positive people and just really want to learn and understand their body better and the health and fitness space a bit better. So I guess with a big social following comes a little bit of power to be able to I guess talk about your life learnings and share that knowledge and tell people that it's okay. You know, life's not perfect, and I think that's Instagram's idea behind this to be like, let's get rid of the likes so that people are not obsessing over how many people are liking their photo, rather than they're just putting up nice content that, you know, can tell a deeper story. Going back to the story thing again.
Yeah, that's right.
But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what actually happens off the back of it.
If they keep it?
Yeah, if they keep it. Because I'll be interested to see if people still be willing to like double tap the photo, or if they'll just get lazy because they'll be like, oh, you can't even see it anyway. Let's not worry about likes. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. I think you actually still can see it, but you have to click on because, you know, if you like a photo, it'll come, you liked it and one of your friends liked it. And I think if you click on that, you kind of can see a list of everyone that liked it, but you can't see the number.
Yeah.
So I think they're kind of gone a bit halfway in between.
Yeah. But if no one that you follow doesn't like the image, you can't see it.
I can't see anything. Hey. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like I can see my own likes in the back end because I have a business Instagram account. Yeah. And I can click into insights and I go, okay, I know how many like people have liked that photo. But like within the feed, you can't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's almost irrelevant. Like I think it's relevant maybe for people that make a living through Instagram, but at the end of the day, it's not. It's probably doing more good than bad, I'd say, because of people that you mentioned that they look at their likes way too much.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, now it's taken away. You got to find something else to do with your time.
Yeah, exactly. And also it goes back to that like that system of hierarchy as well. Like, like we just spoke about that earlier in the martial arts thing, and if a gym took that concept into into fruition, it could probably be very beneficial for them. The same as how Instagram's done so well as an app is because it obviously the more following you get, you go up this hierarchy chain or whatever that we've just all built up in our own minds. So I don't know, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Instagram.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting.
It's it's I guess it's almost like a gamification, right? Like the more likes I get, the better I do at this game. Yeah. But it's irrelevant to life.
yeah, exactly. You spend too much time looking down at your phone rather than actually admiring that sunrise. You're standing behind your phone taking a photo of it instead of actually enjoying it.
It's so true. I mean, traveling to the Maldives is kind of a perfect example because I love filming when I'm on holiday to create the memories for later on in life. But every time I go out for a surf, I'm like, oh, should I take the GoPro for this
you
session
feel
or should I
guilty,
not
don't
worry
you?
about it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I try to do 50-50 because sometimes you want to get some good waves on camera, but sometimes you just want to be out there surfing and not worry about a freaking GoPro around your neck.
Yeah. And I think it's probably a different mentality for you being your job as well, because you're like, I need content.
Yeah.
I need to make something epic so that like
Maybe I can get a free trip next year.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Awesome. All right. I have a new segment that we're going to trial today.
Awesome.
For the end of the podcast. It's I think I'm going to call it Last Words.
Last
so you're the
Words.
first person that's doing this segment.
Oh, God, now I'm going to be nervous.
It'll be a couple of questions that ends with last something.
Yeah. All right.
We'll start with the easy one. What's the last movie that you watched? You watch a lot of movies.
Not a huge amount, but we watched. I think it was called Ocean's 8 or Ocean's 9, the one with all the girls,
The female version.
Yeah. We watched that, and we got halfway through, and Fox started crying, my baby. So we had to stop halfway through. But yeah, that was the one I watched.
Yeah. Was it good until that point?
It was like exactly the same storytelling as like Ocean's 12, Ocean's 11. It was just different characters, and it had all the same type of like jokes and, you know, like George Clooney and Brad Pitt, you know how they're just like the two dominant figures. Well, the two girls, I can't remember, it was Sandra Bullock and I don't know the other actor's name, but they had the exact same role as those guys did. So it was just like, it was like
kind
really
of a copy.
fun. Yeah, it was really fun in that sense though, because like they
Was
would
it
do the
still
same
Steven Soderbergh that
I'm not
made
sure.
it? I think he made the first one because the first one was epic.
Yeah.
Ocean's 11 was incredible.
Yeah. I don't know. It had that very similar storytelling, and maybe, you know, I guess as a director, you could probably mimic that quite easily because it's already been done.
Hollywood do that a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'd like to look that up actually.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Are there any movies that you're looking forward to this year?
I went to the Lion King premiere the other night. It was freaking epic.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Did you cry?
No, I didn't cry, but
It's a sad movie.
yeah, it is a sad movie. And it's even sadder when those animals actually look real as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't have that like disconnect from like the cartoon.
Yeah, the 2D cartoon.
Yeah,
is a little bit
the
easier to have.
CGI in that, like I heard people say, oh, it's not that good, but like, come on, it was pretty bloody epic. Like,
I'm sure it is.
they look like real animals.
Yeah.
Like, there's
don't know
another
if I'd
scary thing
rather-
about my job.
I'd rather maybe them look like animated characters. Sometimes I find animation that looks too real a bit odd.
Yeah, I did too, and I don't know, I appreciated it, but I felt like it would have been cool if they'd done it sort of like in that style of like Toy Story or Shrek, you know, where they look
Pixar
cartoony
style.
still. Yeah. I think I would have enjoyed that more, but it was still epic. The soundtrack was amazing, like Beyonce. Whoa.
One of the best soundtracks of all time in the animated, in any space really.
Yeah. It was like even more epic than the original, so it was just amazing.
Yeah. All right, last question is kind of related to mean tweets. Have you seen that on YouTube?
Yeah,
The celebrity mean tweets. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
What's the last mean comment that you had on your socials? Anything that stood out?
I try. I've taken this mentality where I try not to read them and just sort of like get rid of them.
Great mentality.
Yeah, because like, you know, you don't need that negativity in your life.
Nah.
YouTube
is terrible, hey?
Yeah, YouTube's bad. I'm surprisingly, probably because I'm only sitting at like 70,000 subscriber counts. It's sort of a more positive.
They're following you for you.
Yeah. They haven't necessarily found, all the trolls haven't necessarily like latched onto me and like ripped me apart yet for calling myself a cool dad, but I'm waiting for that, you know. But I think there was a dad shaming comment. I spoke on my Instagram story about how tough fatherhood and parenthood is, because we spoke about this before the podcast, like both myself and Sarah are very sleep deprived at the moment, and it is a struggle. And we just wanted to tell everyone that we're struggling. It's okay to struggle. We're not going to glamorize it and tell you that everything is just perfect and it's all going smoothly, because the reality is like we're really struggling, and he's a hard baby. I love him to absolute bits, but he's a hard baby. And I think I got this one comment saying like, it was something like, well, what about all those people who can't fall pregnant? Like, this is so disgusting. I can't believe you would talk like this. And I just wanted to write back and just be like, mate, like, take a grip of yourself. Like, my auntie couldn't have children. She adopted my cousin, who is well and truly part of the family, and she had her from the age of 3 months old till the age she is now, she's been through it. She's a parent. She's the mother. You're going to turn around to her and tell her that she's not a mother?
Yeah.
But you just get rid of the comment and
So nuts, eh?
That's the only one I could think of. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. I mean, one of the main reasons for asking that questions is to promote this message that you can't comment negative on someone's social that you don't know. Like, you don't know their story.
No, exactly.
Like, for someone to comment that on yours, it's like, what? Like, how do you get to that point?
Yeah, I don't know.
So sad.
Yeah, Sarah in particular, because she's got a huge audience, she gets a lot of really bitchy ones. Like, they get nasty sometimes.
Females sometimes can get a bit vicious on there, yeah?
I mean,
guys definitely. As well, but
I feel like the guy ones are like more to the point and they kind of are like a joke, where the girl ones, they really think about it and they're really precise with their wording and they put it in a way that like tries to really get to you. Whereas the guys are like, you're a effing dickhead, blah, blah, blah. Like, look at you scrawny little shrimp. Oh yeah, okay, cool. See you later, mate.
You can brush it off pretty quickly. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. One more. Vlogging and filming yourself and being kind of on camera a lot of the time. Yeah. In the beginning, if you can remember back to the first time you did it, it feels super awkward and embarrassing.
Yeah.
Do you have a story when the last time like you got a bit embarrassed in front of your own camera?
Oh, all the time. I'm very fortunate that I have a very confident vlogger that that is my partner. Sarah, she's a one of a kind. She just will do it anywhere so shamelessly. And I guess when we first started dating, I just had to be okay with it because this is her life. This is what she does.
Oh yeah,
and
I haven't thought about that, yeah.
But I would definitely walk around those early stages and look around. And when you've got a camera aimed up to yourself, like, it's more so the older generation. They look at you like you're on a different planet. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're just so obsessed with yourself that you're going to talk to yourself in a camera and watch that back later. Whereas like the young ones look at you like, oh, that must be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I wonder how many subscribers he
exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sarah has this mentality that's like, act confident and no one will question you. So I try to embody that mentality, but at the same time, I get very subconscious about it.
Is it still tough to do in public spaces for you?
Yeah. But I guess if you want that piece of content, you just got to do it, don't you? Like, I think the hardest thing for me is to try and film my workouts in the gym, when there's like, all the big bodybuilders around there and that, and like, I've kind of, got to know a lot of people in the gym now where they know what I do, and I guess it wouldn't be as bad. But if I walked into that gym straight off the cuff and put my camera down, started recording myself, started talking about like what the workout I'm doing or this and that, I'd be very intimidated in that sense. So more in those sort of situations, like in the gyms, it's quite difficult in there. But when I'm out and about, it's okay.
I think it's a great exercise though, because a lot of people, how if you do a self-improvement course or something like that, they challenge you to do something uncomfortable, and it could be lying down on the street where there's a lot of people, just going to lie there for like 2 minutes and just feel uncomfortable because you just like something random, right? But getting that feeling of filming yourself in a public space, that is super embarrassing in the beginning, but you also have to perform in front of the camera. Yeah. So to be able to overcome that and do it, it's a great challenge.
Yeah, definitely. And talking to yourself in the camera is so challenging. Like, you don't understand how many times you just go brain dead and you just like, I'm sure, have you tried it before?
A lot of
yeah. You just like
brain freeze,
stand there and you just like, oh, I forgot what I was talking about, because you have no human interaction. It's so, it goes against everything that we do, right? Yeah. You don't stand there in front of the mirror and talk to yourself in the mirror every morning. You like look at yourself and you're like, oh man, I look like shit. But but you don't talk to yourself in the mirror. So like looking at yourself, I don't know, talking to a camera is just, there's this human disconnect from it. So it's
and you got to get the right sound bites, because you're trying to tell a story in the video. You've got to connect it to the next bit or link it to what was before.
And then you got to be animated at the same time, so it's engaging for people to listen to. And I don't know. I've learned a lot. I look at it as like you said before, a self-development thing. And that was the reason why we picked up podcasting as well, because we wanted to sort of tell our story on a deeper level. And at the same time, I wanted to become a better public speaker as well, and try and finesse my, I guess, language. Yeah,
get rid of your verbal tics is one of the things I try to do.
Yeah, exactly. And you learn a lot doing these things. And when I listen to them back and I'm editing them, I'm like, oh my gosh, I sound like such a douche.
Couldn't agree more. I'm the same. It's tough, eh?
Yeah.
But you learn from it.
You definitely do. You definitely do. And that's it's just like this cycle of life again. Like just keep challenging yourself, keep putting yourself out there and, you know, trying new things.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Awesome, Kurt. Hey, do you have anything exciting coming up or anything that you want to plug at the end of the podcast for yourself?
Man.
Where can people go if they want to hire your services?
Okay, let's start there. My website's www.kjtilse.com.
Oh, quick question.
Yeah.
What's the J for?
Jonathan, middle name.
Ah, Kurt Jonathan. Nice.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at KJTilse. Go, you know, the health code, you can listen in there. What else? We've got YouTube. We've got all the platforms happening.
I love the Cool Dad project on YouTube.
I'm trying to stay consistent with YouTube. It's really hard with everything else that we've got going on.
Yeah.
But I have, there's so many projects that I'm like working on in the back end and that both myself and Sarah are working on as well that we can't talk about at the moment. So there's a lot of exciting things happening in our world at the moment, and we're driven, but at the same time, we've got a little boy to look after and do family life. So
and you're sleep deprived.
Yeah, we're sleep deprived, but it doesn't mean we can't be creative still.
Yeah, nah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
thanks so much for coming on. We'll have to do this again some other time.
Yeah,
I think.
loved
See what
it,
else
of course.
is happening with you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
Cool.
Thank you very much, man.
Thanks, Kurt.
See ya.